What would you do if I told you that this isn't really rainfall, but in fact, it's this? No, you're not hungry. It can actually be explained with a much more complex word: psychoacoustics. Psychoacoustics is a branch of psychophysics involved in the scientific study of sound perception and audiology. It combines the study of acoustics and auditory psychology to determine the relationship between a sound characteristic and the auditory sensation that it provokes. To understand this, we must first look at a couple of concepts. Sound waves can produce unconscious activity within the brain. Each of these sound waves emitted by an external source are picked up by the ear and travel to the brain, where they are broken down into neural information. This processed information is then used by the brain to signal to your body to take the appropriate action. But what exactly is affecting these sounds, and how do they relate to architecture? Professional psychoacousticians consider the effects of design and how they impact users' experience of auditory effects such as loudness, echo, and reverberation. Well, to start, loudness, as defined, is actually a subjective measure of the perception of sound pressure. It is the area between the absolute threshold of hearing, which is the lowest level of sound required to produce an auditory sensation in a silent environment, and the discomfort level, which is the lowest sound pressure level required to produce a feeling of discomfort, creating the auditory field. This auditory field ranges from person to person, but the human auditory field spans from a sound pressure of 0.02 MPa to 20 PA. This is true for frequencies between 0.05 and 8 kHz, which the ear is most sensitive to. Echoes and reverberations are really similar concepts, often used interchangeably, but they occur in different contexts. Reverberation is defined as the persistence of sound after the original sound has ended. It's short sound reflections resulting from waves bouncing back from several surfaces, usually found in a smaller and tighter space. With these concepts defined, we can now look at their effects in architecture. The Teatro Colón in Buenos Aires, Argentina, is recognized worldwide for its excellent acoustics, ranking among the best concert halls by some of the greatest recognized classical and opera musicians. Its geometric characteristics allow the reflected sound, or reverberations, to reach the audience shortly after it has been heard from the original source, which can be perceived as one sound and therefore providing a feeling of amplification and being surrounded by sound. This is known as the Has effect. In conclusion, psychoacoustics are extremely important in architecture. They allow us to understand the effects of sounds, helping us design spaces that are desirable and effective. Thank you for listening.